Okay, okay, I'm going to pull up my little question notes because I've got a ton for you guys. Um, okay, I think I sent it to myself. I'm sorry, guys. I should have had this pulled up. There we go. Got it. There we are. Okay. So first we'll start with any quotes or themes because this book isn't like stellar quotes like usually. So, but if there's any themes or anything that you really latched onto, I'd love to hear them. So we'll start with Erin.
Not really this time. I'm really like curious to see what is going on. Like I have no idea. I can't wait to read the next part. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really have any quotes or themes other than like, what the heck? I have no idea what's happening.
I start to form an idea, like a concrete idea, and then it's just blown out of the water every single
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
But the back of the book does tell, like I guess I should tell people we're reading All Good People Here by Ashley Flowers, who is the leader of the podcast Crime Junkie. And the trigger warnings for this one, if you have any trouble with child sexual abuse or endangerment or kidnapping or murder, you may want to click off the video now. It's probably not going to be a good time for you to sit in on. But yes, Erin, I totally agree. It's just a twist all the time. Karen, did you have any quotes or anything that really appealed to you?
I didn't really track down any quotes this time, but I really was interested in the part where Chrissy, pretty much assumed that Jace had done the murder, and then in the letter that they kind of wrote to each other, he's like, "I didn't do it." He's like, so you're kind of now you're still like, okay, well then who did it?
You're really thrown. I'm thrown. I'm suspicious. I'm curious. I don't know. I'm just feeling every type of way. So I totally empathize with you as well as Erin. Good evening, Jameson and Stephanie. It's so wonderful that you guys were here. I was just asking everybody at the beginning if they had anything that they wanted to discuss or put out before we got started as far as like the way that you're feeling about like the universe right now. There's just so much going on. I just wanted to make sure everybody was okay and safe. And you're all right, Jameson. Okay. And then Stephanie, you let me know if you need anything. Jameson, did you have any quotes or like specific things that happened in this part of the book that you wanted to bring to like attention?
I think I read too fast. I've never been more frustrated to stop reading. Um, I can't really think of anything.
I did that too, and I had to go back because I think I was skipping things. So like, what is happening, you know? So I really went back and dissected it, but I also pushed too far. Melody, if you want to put anything in the chat, I will. Oh, I see that. Okay, that made you wonder if she really did care. Kill herself. Oh, and Stephanie doesn't look well today. Okay, that's totally fine. You never have to be on camera if you don't want to be. But I'm sure you look beautiful as usual. Nikki, did you have anything you would like to point out?
Not really. I think I had the same issue of I read it too fast this time around. Like it was just kind of like sucking me in, and I was to the point where I was like, all right, what happens next? What happens next? And I just kept going.
Yeah. Yes, it's very compelling, which is so strange to me because I'm like on the seat of my pants wanting to know, and a lot of people feel like it's slow. So I just wonder what it says about me that I can't kind of put it down and want to keep going. Udi, how about you?
I know I couldn't put it down either. I
Yeah.
have the hardest time. I was like, man, no quotes, but the theme that really resonated with me is when, he's having his fits, and it's really sad to watch that happen to a person. I can only imagine what's going on. But that's
Yeah, I'm feeling I can't say that I don't really like the word necessarily triggered unless it's a severe circumstance, but I am feeling very emotional, I guess would be the best word for me as far as
yeah,
what
agreed.
yeah, like a it hurts me to hear about what's happening to Luke mentally, and the way this has affected Jace, Jay, and Margot's entire lives, like everything from that point on has been affected. It's just, I know what that's like, you know? So it's really hit me in the feels. I've actually cried about Luke a couple of times, and I know what that's like. Robin, how about you?
Oh, let me talk to you about this dance stuff. That has been my big thing. Like when when they were like describing her in her dance pictures and then talking about all like whether there are people who show up at recitals and show up at competitions, I'm like, this is so like it makes me sick. The some of the stuff that goes on in the dance world and like I am on groups with other studio owners. I am on costume resale groups, and some of the stuff that's out there, I'm like, no, like just no.
It
And
does go too far. It does pageants and dance. And then also, I have friends that have kids that are like, I think she's 8, she's a cheerleader, and she has like a full glam with cleavage, and they actually did contour on where her little
no,
décolleté is to make it look like, I was like, what are you doing to your child? Like this is,
Mhm.
oh yeah.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine who she and my daughter are the same age, and she moved I don't somewhere up in New England somewhere, I don't remember where, and she will post on Facebook like pictures of her daughter at recital and her daughter after competition, and I'm like, A, stop posting on Facebook, and B, that's disgusting. Like, how do you let your child go in front of other people?
I think there's a part of societal conditioning. So they've been doing this from the way back, like years of this, and I think they did it as children. A lot of these are like moms that did it too, or had somebody they were envious of that did it. And there's not, I think it's like a cultural thing inside that bubble. I don't think they see clearly until it's really drastically brought to their attention. But reading this book, afterwards, I usually looked at her cheer pictures, like, oh, she's so cute, and then I looked at it and I'm like, whoa, she's like 8 and she looks 18.
Yeah, like we have a very strict at my studio no midriff policy. Like I have told kids that they have to go home from class for wearing a crop top. I'm like, we don't do that here. Like, no. And so like it's so much of that. I'm like, I just went into such a gigantic spiral because I just live with that all the time. And it's like
I agree with Jameson too. I don't think it's our responsibility or a woman's responsibility. Anybody, I think it's any gender can be sexualized, right? Or non-gender. And I don't think it's that person to protect. They shouldn't be responsible for that. The other people should not see them that way. The problem with that is I don't think it's that the child or the person that is being displayed like that has cognitive abilities to approve of themselves looking that way. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think their permission is fully because they don't understand.
well, and that's my big thing. Like it's not the same a woman versus a girl. And these are, especially in this book, this is a 6-year-old child. She should not be dressed like that. And the stuff that I see at dance competitions, the stuff that I see like on the internet where I'm in a lot of, I'm fully immersed in this world. And it's like, it's not, you can't make that choice for that child. You should be making the choice to have them go the other way. I understand that it's not our job to keep a man from sexualizing, but it is our job to protect children, like as dance studio owners, as dance teachers, and as parents. All right, let me put my soapbox away.
Yeah, I think you as a mother of young children in 2025 is probably make it really sensitive for you. And so I totally empathize. It's like, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn on the topic, but I can tell you, after reading about this and then looking at my friends' cheerleading pictures, I was like, that's not safe. It's the feeling I got. That doesn't
Mhm.
feel safe.
Yeah.
Whether it's right or wrong, it just feels very scary. And the child can't protect themselves, and they don't know that they are being in
Mhm.
a place of vulnerability.
Well, and the other thing is like these recitals, like anyone who buys a ticket
Can
can come.
come.
It's not like we ask people, oh, are you family of blah blah blah. Like if you buy a ticket, you can come in. In competitions, they are often held in hotels
Yeah.
or in high schools where there is zero like keeping the regular public from coming into that. Again, you don't have to buy a ticket. It's open. Like people are just walking in. And so there's just so much of it that just made me like so angry. I was like, at first I was like, I don't know if I can read this.
I know it is disturbing. It's disturbing on many levels. That's why I did put a trigger warning on it, just in case anybody who's ever experienced that. It's hard. It's hard to read. Especially, imagine if you had a child that it had happened to or something like that. It would be very difficult. Stephanie, how about you? Do you have any feelings or quotes that you would like to share?
Sorry, a favorite quote.
Hmm. Or feelings,
Um,
or any kind of feelings that you brought up for you?
it was, I just feel bad that she was exploited in that way,
Mhm.
and that's just really sad to me. I couldn't really put down the book either, and I was just shocked that Luke actually was,
Yes.
creepy. I mean, I thought it was fully the brother, but he exonerated himself, so it's just I can't wait to hear what happens next, honestly.
Yeah, I'm really ready for this to come to fruition. I
Yeah.
have way too many theories going. Um, how about you, Tiff? Do you have any thoughts, quotes, feelings?
Um, I don't know. Like I am kind of trying not to think that like there's some kind of underground child trafficking ring going on in this small city or small town,
Mm-hmm.
but that's almost what it sounds like. But I'm also wondering like if Billy is actually the father of those twins.
Yep, me too. I have had a weird feeling she's carrying a secret that we don't know about yet, and that has been my gut feeling all along. He also doesn't have much of a paternal pull to them in the way that he should have. So I thought that, yeah, I have that gut feeling too. I mean, I'm very intrigued. Tara, how about you? I love your shirt.
Thank you. Um, I didn't do any quotes again because I listened to it this time still. But I agree with what everybody else has been saying, like the sexualization of kids that do dance and cheer and all of that stuff. I have a friend who has children who were in dance, like from little kids, and now the second one is graduating high school this year. And I remember like looking at their pictures and looking at their competitions and just being like, oh my God, I feel like I need to go put a little robe around them. And same thing, they did cheer. Um, I just feel like I want young girls to have the ability to like do what they want and be comfortable in their skin. But at the same time, I feel like somebody else said it's our job to protect them. And I don't think that putting them out there in that sort of manner is helping to like protect them.
I don't think they that's the problem. They don't know that they're in a vulnerable place. They think they're dressed up, they look pretty, they look like mama, they look, I don't think they know that they're in a place where they could be in harm's way by looking that way. I think that is the biggest component. It's not consensual because they don't understand. what's happening there. And that is what disturbs me the most. If they knew that there was like after a certain age, I think maybe like 11, 12, you can sit down with a child and explain, but 6 years old, like how do you tell them like bad men are going to want to do bad things to you? Like it's just, you just, it's just so complicated. So let's get into some of our questions. So Udi submitted, what do you think Luke meant when he said, I'm afraid she'll find out what really happened? And do you think Margot saw something that night? So that we're going to kind of put those two together, and we'll start back with Tara.
I like piggybacked on that question about what did he mean because I feel like he had something to do with it.
Mm.
And I think that he's feeling like she is figuring it out, and like even with all the issues that's going on in his brain and like with his health, I think that he just is like remembering that and doesn't want her to know. And I don't think that she saw anything.
Really? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Ugh, I don't like the thought of him being involved. Tiff, how about you?
I also feel like he was involved, maybe not directly, but I, again, I'm not trying to say that there's some kind of child trafficking ring going on in this city. However, he is like the accountant guy, and he's got like everybody's money. Um, I also wonder, like, I do think he has dementia, but I wonder how bad it actually is. And I'm wondering if
Mm,
he is like deflecting.
very interesting. Yes.
So, and then I was like, what if he is the father
I
of the
thought that all along. Yeah. Yeah. Not to cut you off, but statistically, small towns like this Indiana town are the highest rated for oddly, sex trafficking of children. I don't know why. You would think it'd be bigger cities, where it's like but little tiny, out in the middle of nowhere towns is where this happens more often, which is just mind blowing. Good evening, Lisa. It's so wonderful to see you. So glad you're here. Um, we went over some of our favorite quotes or favorite moments of this part of the book, and now we're asking Udi's question about, I just don't want to miss anything. What do you think Luke meant when he said, I'm afraid she'll find out what really happened? And also, do you think Margot saw something that night? And I'll grab you in just one moment to hear your thoughts. Stephanie, how about you?
Sorry, it took me a second. I mean, Margot did find those pamphlets from the dance recitals, but I've wondered how Luke plays a part too. And like what Tiff said, maybe he is deflecting some of that. And I do think he was involved in some capacity, but I don't know what extent because it's just there's still a lot. There's still like at least 90 pages left or something. So there's going to be a twist in there somewhere. I just don't know what to think right now, to be honest with you. But that's interesting about sex trafficking happening in smaller towns
Well, it's
more
all
often.
that like circle. It's in a circle of it, it's just like, are these the only ones that came to light? Why is it all so similar? Like there's just something weird vibing around in there. I agree. Robin, how about okay. It's the safety. Small towns, people are more trusting. Yes, you're making a really good point here. They uncovered that the door to the Jacobs home was unlocked. I'd love to hear your take on that. Do you think Margot knows anything, and what do you think Luke meant?
So I have no idea.
Okay.
I'm like, I feel like this book is so, I just said to my husband today, this book is not like other books that we have read. I feel like, yeah, it is a very fast read. It's so twisty that I'm like, I I don't feel like I can have any like real deep thoughts about it, which is like, I'm kind of like, when he said that, I was like, well, let me just file that away in the, for later. And I'm just not even going to think about that right now. But I think and I put this in the chat. I did wonder if maybe Luke's connection is to Chrissy instead of like to the kids. Cause I don't know if Luke would be old enough to be her father. I don't know if the ages work out for that because she's pretty young. He's like 50 something.
50. So I'm assuming he is 25 years older than Margot. So he would have been around the same age, maybe a little older than Chrissy and Billy. I was thinking that it's very hard for me to because he has them. I keep thinking he's like in his 70s.
Older.
He's not.
Yeah, right. And they keep mentioning that. And then she is very young to have adult children because she had them like at 19, I think. So then I'm like, well, could it be that, or maybe he just has some connection to Chrissy in some way, and that's why he was out there. So I don't necessarily think that he's the twins' dad, but yeah, I don't know. It's so twisty. I don't know.
I don't know why, but and maybe this is just me being sick because I assumed Jace. I thought it was the brother, but now I'm wondering if Margot came over or something to visit and accidentally knocked her, and she's blocked it out, like knocked her down the stairs or something, and she hit her head, and she left, and now she's like dissociated out of it, and Luke and Rebecca covered it up. And that's why she's obsessed with it. Her whole life has been spun around it. I don't know. I'm getting bad feelings.
When I read about like when Jace was talking about it, I was like, is nobody think this is just an accident? Like she just fell down the stairs and like died? And now everyone's like, but then even Jace thinks that it was somebody. And I'm like, it's melting my brain a little bit.
How about you, Udi? What do you think?
You took my theory.
I did. I had been feeling it, but I'm questioning myself because I feel like I was very wrong about Jace.
I feel that she might have went over there to go do something, and maybe they were playing, and she fell down the stairs, and she ran to go tell her aunt and uncle about it because they're right across the street. Or no, they weren't right across the street, but whatever. That's my theory. And then why would him and his wife cover it up,
Right.
I don't think the wife would keep it a secret if Luke was somehow involved with the murder.
I think so too. I think
I'm thinking Margot.
Yeah.
I think Margot might have been there present in the house when she died. And the reason Jace doesn't remember is because she got out beforehand. And that could be why the door was left another reason the door was left unlocked, somebody leaving.
Yeah.
And another reason the crime scene could be so messed up is that Luke came and tried to mess it up some more.
That makes sense. However, okay, we'll keep going. I have more thoughts. We'll keep going. Nikki, how about you? Do you think that Luke was involved and like did harm? Do you think he was protecting? And do you think Margot remembers?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if Luke did like directly harm January. I feel like he's the dad secretly. I don't know. I am a psychological thriller person. I absolutely love psychological thriller movies. I love twists. I love turns. And this book's just got me feeling all sorts of things.
Yeah, me too. This is my favorite like genre to share with people because I love to hear your guys' take on it. Oh yeah, Aaron, I've got that question coming. Yes, I'm very intrigued by that too. Melody, did you have any thoughts? Have you put anything in the chat that I need to scroll for? You can just nod or okay, we'll keep cruising. Jameson, do you think that he had anything to do with it? Do you think he was protecting anyone, or do you think Margot knows?
No, I don't think she knows. I think it happened late at night, and I don't think that. Hear me out. coming from a background where no one called anyone by their real name, I think when they were in that group on the football field, Luke's last name is Davies. I think Dave is Luke.
Oh.
I think the Dave that was at the football field is Luke. I think that Luke is the twins' father.
Okay.
But I don't think that he knows anything. I think he was just like, I think he was looking at Margot thinking it was Rebecca and saying, I don't want her to know what really happened, because I don't think when she was 6 years old, they probably didn't tell her your friend got murdered.
Right.
I mean,
Do
they
you think
probably,
maybe he helped, maybe Chrissy went to him for help since he's their real parent and he helped move her and things?
I don't know. I think either, I think, oh, I don't think Chrissy did it because she was so sure Jace did it. I think Billy did it. I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know if he did it on purpose. I don't know, but that's my theory. I don't, I don't, I don't know.
Okay.
But
Well, you
I
definitely
think
just
that,
blew my mind with
I
his
think that
name.
Luke is their parent. I think Billy killed Chrissy because he found that out, but I don't know. I don't think he would kill a child because he found that out. Like, so I don't know how that fits in there, but I definitely think that's my angle with Luke. I think him and Chrissy were together.
I think you're really onto something. I really do. And Lisa, are you able to, everybody's first time in here, they have trouble unmuting themselves. So I muted you to see if you could do it. Oh, yay, you did it.
I'm
Okay,
good.
let's hear your
I'm
thoughts.
good.
Yay!
Smarter than the average technological bear. I was in IT for 16 years, so I have a little edge. Wow, the last name thing, that really caught me. It's like, I really haven't developed any theories. I just finished chapter 24 last night, finally, and because it's been a crazy week, and those last two chapters completely threw me for a loop. I had been going down the Jace angle, it seemed, and then, we hear from him that he didn't, and then what Luke said, I'm just like, I'm still a little flabbergasted, and okay, where are we going from here? So I'm loving, I haven't read I tend to go, like I've read, I don't know. This one just is really, really. I can usually kind of guess where we're going, and they keep throwing me curveballs.
Right? Like, I feel like we thought the author was stealing a lot of the John
John
Bonet
Benet Ramsey,
in the
yeah,
beginning, and now I'm like, whoa, like my mind is just completely blown. As far as Jace goes, I did want to say, just because somebody says they didn't do it and they said it really believably, doesn't necessarily
right,
negate that he might have done it.
right,
He's still but like you, now I'm like, oh, I think maybe I was wrong.
yeah.
I
And
was
now it's
really,
like all these, and especially with having Luke say that to me came completely out of left field. So
yeah.
I'm kind of questioning everything that I had been thinking before. So I'm excited to start reading again.
Yes. Karen, how about you?
I still believe that Billy is a part of it. Like Jameson said, I the Luke connection, I'm still like, even, but I was kind of blown by that comment about Davies, and thinking that, oh yeah, that was a shocker because I didn't think about that. Um, I don't think that Luke had anything to do with the murder. I think he knows because he was friends with Chrissy. Um, I think he knows what happened, and she maybe called him afterwards when she found the body
I thought that too. If he
and
is,
thought, come help me. What am I supposed to do with this? Because she wants to protect Jace, but you know, um, So I definitely think there's a connection. I think he knows what happened, and I think he probably told his wife. And um, I don't necessarily know if I believe that Margot saw anything. I don't think she did.
Okay.
Um,
My only caveat to Luke being their parent, why did he not try to help Jace in some way? He lived right across the street. He was already like put Margot under his wing. Like that's not his biological daughter. The problem, I mean, I know Jace was very awkward and unusual, but you can't tell me they didn't cross paths living literally across he could have
mhm.
tried to befriend him in some way. Maybe we'll find out he did, but that I find that odd. Aaron, how about you? Do you think that Margot saw anything? And do you think Luke did anything to protect anyone, or was he involved?
What do we mean when we think did she see anything like outside when she was looking out the window? Is that what we mean? I don't think so. I just think it's weird because she said she couldn't see anything. She kept hearing noises, so she couldn't see anything. But then she thought she saw Billy or Luke breathing faster, like he was running outside and like
Ah,
making noises and then coming back in and sitting down. I don't know, but I don't know. This whole book is just so confusing to me. It's making my mind go a million different ways. But I think I didn't even put together what Jameson said about like Dave and Davies. Like now I'm like, oh, it makes sense. But I think that here's my theory. I think that Luke is the father of the twins because that makes sense as that would be her secret. She probably thought, I can't afford to have an abortion and Luke can't pay for it. Billy comes from money. So I'm just going to tell him that I'm pregnant with his kid and then get the money for an abortion. And then that's when he proposed to her. And she's like, well, this isn't the life that I wanted, but it would still give me more than I have now. So I'm just going to take it. And I'm going to pretend like these are his babies. Oh, she didn't know she had twins at that time. She was early, but still, she probably just thought, like, this is my way out. This isn't what I want, but it's better than where I'm at now. And then that's probably why he kept all of those little recital pamphlets. I don't think it was because he was like pining after her. I think it was because he like snuck in there to see his daughter because they didn't have Jace didn't do anything for him to go to. Remember? So he didn't have anything to keep from Jace, but I don't know why he wouldn't then like you said, help him out afterwards when he was in that tough situation. Everyone was thinking he was a murderer. And also though, like, how would he explain that to his wife? Because Rebecca knew, obviously, if he thought Marco was Rebecca and said, I don't want her to find out, would he tell his wife, like, those are my kids, but I've agreed not to have any contact with them?
right.
I have no idea. It's weird.
It
This
is
whole thing is crazy.
very weird. And I'm scared to make any like attachment to a theory because I keep getting like completely, pulled away from one.
I
Um,
know.
so Robin asked a question that I'm going to tie in with Stephanie's because I think they're really close. Robin asked, do you think the three crimes are connected? And Stephanie asked, do you think more than one person committed all the murders? So basically, do you think they're connected and do you think they were all committed from the one, person? And even adding on to that, do you have a suspect? And I'll start back with Aaron.
Um, for now, I'm going to go with the theory that Luke is the father, so he didn't do it. What was his name? Elephant ears.
Elliot Wallace.
Elliot Wallace did it. I think that she is connecting the dots, and he's the one that did it. But I feel like there's going to be some kind of like some other twist coming, but we'll see. Who knows? That's my theory as of now. I'm hoping that Luke is the good person that she believed him to be.
Uh, I feel like I hate to say this. I just want to put it out there. He hit Margot with the refrigerator door so violently that it busted her skin, and he kept saying, Rebecca, Rebecca, Rebecca. And I'm wondering, was there physical violence between him and Rebecca, considering that Margot's dad is also violent? I'm just wondering, was he abusive? Does he have a history of being abusive? Could he do? It just that really bothered me because I've been with a combative Alzheimer's patient, and well, my grandpa, and he never hit me. He threw things at me, but he never made me bleed. I just feel like that was really extreme. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Karen, do you think they were all by the same person? Do you have a suspect, and do you think they're connected?
Um, I think the one I really don't know. That's my hardest part is I don't really know
Mm-hmm.
if they're connected because it seems very weird that like these three cases would be connected, but I'm not really sure. And why would they start now? I mean, just because Margot's home? Well, that's not even the girl was missing before Margot even got into town.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily think that they're related. They
Okay.
could be,
I
but
think
they may
the
not be.
the pattern of how they're killed is
And
the
maybe it's a
only
copycat.
maybe. I just feel like blunt force trauma to the back of the head is a very specific way to kill someone. I don't know. I don't know. Most kids are I hate to, I mean, I read a lot of true crime. They're suffocated with like a pillow or a hand, or they're strangled. Like it's not usually the back. It's very specific injury. So that was my only correlation to the three from me. Lisa, how about you?
I don't know. I go back and forth. I mean, I think that she's on the right track with the Elliot Wallace thing, but I keep going back to the lady with the auburn hair. Like, why is she stalking? Why is somebody leaving notes? I mean, if with Jace being in Chicago and Elliot Wallace, I think she said he was in Dayton when she interviewed him, I think. I mean, who would be in that town right now? There's, especially with all the John Bonet tie-ins, it makes me wonder, was somebody jealous? Was somebody's mom jealous and about the fact that she was doing so well? And, it just, we've seen a lot of other true crime things like that in general with, when it comes to things like beauty pageants or dance moms. I mean, those women got vicious. So I'm wondering if there's some tie-in around there, and all of these other things are red herrings to keep you from thinking about the lady with the auburn hair.
The lady with the auburn hair, I think I don't know why, but I've always gotten the feeling that is a disguise. The hair is a disguise.
I was thinking that too, though. So
Yeah.
that there's something with her, but what, is it a her and what is it? She hasn't gotten close enough to really see this person. They went the moment that they realize they've been spotted, they disappear.
Right. I have some theories. And that's one of my questions that I had for you guys. We'll come back to that. I also wonder, but that's definitely on the list of suspects for me too. Jameson, how about you? So you don't think I think you said you thought Billy was your suspect, right?
I think Billy killed Chrissy.
Yes.
I don't think the three little girl murders, I just don't think they're related. At first I didn't trust the cops, but I think that's just me not trusting the cops.
I don't trust him either. Townsend, I don't trust him at all.
But I don't think that the three murders are related. I don't know. I just keep thinking that it had to be, and it might be John Bonet again, but I just keep thinking that it had to be some sort of accident, or I don't know. I hate that the whole thing feels like, when you're watching like a stupid romantic comedy and there's this whole big misunderstanding because no one communicates. Like, I feel like 10, 12, 15 years is a really long time to not communicate. Hey, do you want to talk about the fact that you killed your sister so that your son can look at you and go, I didn't do that. Like, I hate it. I really,
I just,
That's
see,
the
my
part of
least
God
favorite.
that I hate. It just feels like a really big misunderstanding that could have been cleared up if somebody had just talked to somebody. Like, it
I
drives me crazy.
wholeheartedly 1000% agree. The whole time I was reading their letters back and forth, and I'm like, you did, like, this mom, like, what she did that night, the presumptions, everything. I get why she felt what she felt, but I just think she went too far, too fast. I don't know. You don't know until you're in it, but like, she really discombobulated the situation and then did no repair, just numbed herself despite everyone else's pain and created like a shitstorm.
I think though, I think that it may be a disguise, but I think that the person stalking Margot and leaving the messages is
Her lover?
Yes, I can't remember her name.
Me neither.
Is it Jody or?
Yes, and I think it is Jody.
Yeah, I think that it's her, and I think that she's legitimately trying to help because I think she knows something.
Yeah. I also, in the chat, they're talking about Pete, the officer that kind of has a crush. I don't know what he has on her. I'm wondering if it's a crush or he knows something and he's trying to figure out what she knows.
Yeah, he makes me nervous too, but I can't make that fit together in my writer's brain. So
yeah, I agree. I'm very curious. Nikki, I don't want to skip you, Melody. Did you have anything you'd like to add in the chat now? Okay. Nikki, how about you?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah,
my kid had my attention.
No, you're okay. I'm going to revisit them just to make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. Robin wanted to know, do you think the three crimes are connected? Stephanie wanted to know, do you think there are more than one person who committed all the murders? Do you think it's like one murderer? And do you have a suspect?
Oh, that is so hard. I definitely think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. January's case was the only one that didn't have SA involved, right?
Yes, they did. Yes. I don't think did they conclude that there was no SA? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I think that was the only one. And to me, I still think they're related because it could be that it didn't reach that far with January because maybe Jace walked in and interrupted what was happening when she fell down the stairs or whoever pushed her down the stairs or whatever happened down the stairs. So I definitely think they're connected. I think it's the same person. I don't know. I don't have a suspect yet because I keep flip-flopping back and forth between all these people. I'm suspicious of Luke, even though I think he's the father. I'm highly suspicious of Billy. And I'm getting weird vibes from Pete the cop. Like there's something about him.
So I totally agree with you about all three of those. I think the reason why we can't pinpoint this is because there's so many details that make it really difficult to follow a timeline. Like Luke's age messes with me with his disease, so I kind of like can't remember that he's only 50. And then the other thing is I can kind of correlate January and the one that just Nancy, the one that just happened. Is her name Nancy? The one in the other county. They were 20 years.
Natalie.
Thank you, Robin and Nikki. That was like the 25th anniversary. And that writing was on the barn and everything. I kind of see a correlation there, but that other rando one that she was investigating 3 years ago, where Elliot Wallace was a suspect, I can't fit that in. It's hard for me. It's very unusual. And can we really say that there are resemblances when we don't even trust the investigator? Like, I don't trust Townsend. I don't understand why he didn't keep investigating more, why he just let it go dry and it just assumed Christy did it. I don't know. It's very disturbing, right?
What if it was Townsend?
What is the what?
What if it was Townsend that did all these?
I wonder that myself. And she reported that he was in good shape, like he was when he left the force. So he's still capable. I've wondered that. But like Jameson said, I just wondered, is it me and my problem with the police that the mistrust of them generally? I don't know. Udi, I know you're thinking that Margot saw something. That Margot may be responsible. Do you think they were all committed by the same person? Do you think they're related? And who do you think maybe committed the murders.
So, in order for my theory to work, I've been thinking about this a lot. So, the elephant dude was at the recital in the picture too, as well as Luke. They were right next to each other. I'm thinking January got killed before he could get to her. That's why there's no sexual assault.
Oh,
Maybe Margot got to her first, or maybe she did fall down the stairs, or maybe Townsend did get her, because Townsend was my original suspect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that the elephant dude is like a red herring, that he is the original of the first two or whatever, and then he just didn't get to January in time. Because she did interview him for Polly's murder.
Yeah.
So she just needs to connect him to the new murder, Natalie.
Woo-wee. Yeah, it would make sense. He was around January. We do know that, you know.
We have photo proof.
And I
of
can
him.
testify that as somebody who was something like this had happened to, but I wasn't murdered, of course. They do want like secrecy, and they kind of mess with your mind. So he could have told her like he was her imaginary friend. Like they convince you that it's not really happening in the way that you think it's happening. So her reporting him as an imaginary friend is so on par.
Yeah, or maybe she did go over there and interrupted him, and January was already dead.
Oh,
and so
man.
she's just associating him as elephant ears.
Do we know his age? Did she say his age?
I want to say he was around the same age as them, like the older people, Luke and
Like
Kristen
50-ish?
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 50-ish.
Okay. Robin, how about you? Do you think they were all connected? Do you think that there is a particular like suspect?
So I think they are not connected. So I think that I think Elliot Wallace is too easy. I think he's a writer's, she's throwing this in so that it makes us think that, oh my gosh, yes, he did all three of them. The thing that I keep coming back to, so I think we're going to find out that Elliot has some connection to, you know, maybe he has a connection to Luke. Maybe he has a connection to Billy that has nothing to do with January and why he was at the recital in the first place. But I think they're all three separate things. I think January was an accident. I think we're going to find out that she just fell down the stairs or something, because yes, so she did not have any of the essay. Then is it Polly or Penny?
Polly, I think, right?
Polly. Okay. Yeah. Polly Lehman or something like that. She did not die by blunt force trauma.
She didn't.
She did not.
She was strangled?
Yes. So that was like, and that was the biggest thing for why her boss told her to stop trying to connect them, because like it wasn't the same MO, because January didn't have that. She didn't die the same way. And then Natalie. Yeah. So Natalie was like, I forget what hers was. Like she was not found in the same place, or she was, I don't know. So, yeah. So I think there's too many discrepancies between the three cases. And in my head, it's too easy as a writer to make them, because she's making us think so much that they're connected and that we're going to end up with one happy little tied up ribbon solution. And I think that the twists and turns that this book has taken is, I don't think that's where she's going to go with it. But
I think we're all going to be shocked. I agree. I 100% agree with you with that. Like, I won't make a theory.
Or I could be completely wrong. I don't know. So,
yeah.
But I wanted to bring up, so I don't know if anyone twigged on this, but did you did you figure out that Jace is bringing her flowers on the anniversary of her recital, not the anniversary of when she died? And he's
I knew
bringing
it was
the
a
same
PG-13.
flowers that her
Oh my
parents
God.
had, and they wanted him to give her the rose.
I do now. Oh no, that poor
So,
kid.
like, yeah, the
Mhm.
minute I figured that out, I was like, well, Jace didn't kill her.
He's like trying to make up for not
He's like,
killing them.
yeah, I feel like he's trying to apologize.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
yeah.
Yeah. I knew it was a few days before, and I thought, well, maybe he does it so that he can't be caught, because he's trying to stay in hiding or whatever. And there might be more people there at that time, but you're right, that was the recital. Oh, if he did not do it, my heart just literally breaks for him because it's like he died that day too. You know?
Yeah.
Stephanie, how about you? This was your question. Do you think that they are all related? Do you think they were committed by all the same person? Do you think they're connected somehow? And do you have a suspect?
So I think that January and Natalie might be connected, and I really do not trust the cops. There's just something weird about that.
All of them, right? The Pete and
Yeah,
Townsend are weird.
I think they're hiding something more nefarious going on because you can bribe cops if they're dirty anyway.
Mhm.
So I wonder if that's what's going on. They're hiding something. And then I don't think Polly's murder isn't common at all. I don't think that's related. But I'm wondering because I thought at first that it was Jace, but I know it's not him now. But I think January because she didn't get SA. I either like what someone was saying, he interrupted it so it didn't happen, or she did fall down the stairs. And I think so I think Elliot is tied in somehow with somebody in the book. I don't know how, but I don't think he did it because, like what everybody else is saying, it's too easy for the author to say that it's just that person, even though he was at the recitals.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
I think my suspect now is I think Luke is part of it and the cops.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ooh. Tiff, how about you? So, with this question and your idea of like a sex ring, like a child trafficking ring type of thing, that could be possible through the police. Like that might be like a valid, you know what I mean? And that would be multiple people involved. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the police could be involved, but I also wonder if like the police are just being typical police and they're like doing really shitty job at investigating this case. Because like police do that. Like the first piece of evidence they get towards somebody, they're like, yep, that's the person, and they just like don't even care about anything else. I think that this Elliot guy is I think he killed all three. But I think that the Elliot guy is not some kind of stranger. I think he's probably a friend of theirs, maybe. He runs in their friend group.
Mm-hmm.
I get because it seems like in that picture, like he's kind of close to January, and like it almost seems like it's weird that he's where he's at in that picture.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's what I'm leaning towards. But yeah, the police, I really just go back and forth between like it just being ego and them being like, yeah, this was the first piece of evidence I saw, so this is what happened. And then yeah, they might very well be covering up.
Do you think it's odd? I thought that when I first read it, they appeared like out of nowhere. They got there so fast. Like their friend found the site, and then he called his boss, and then the next thing you know, like they're there. Like the state. Why were they so available? It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't. Something's weird about it. Also, I have such a hard time fathoming that Jace was with that other cop all that time and never said anything, but yet on the interview was like, I don't want to say anything because I could get in trouble. Like, and he didn't leak anything at all to the other cop. It's just weird to me.
Or he did leak it to the cop and it didn't fit with what they're trying to do. So she, because it was a she, right? So she told him not to say anything or he was going to get in trouble.
Oh, ew, ew, ew. I don't like the thought of it all. Oh my God, people are horrible. Tara, how about you? You think they're related? Do you have a suspect?
I think they are related, and I think Luke did it.
No way. So you think Luke killed them all?
Hmm.
He does have a tendency to violence. I mean, it wouldn't be completely. Do you think he killed Chrissy?
No, I think that Billy did because I think that he found out that the kids weren't his.
Hmm.
And so I think that he did it. He killed her. But I think that um Luke, I think might be that Dave person or the
Hmm.
Davies person. Now that somebody has mentioned that, I started thinking about it and was like, that would make so much sense. And so I think that he killed January, but didn't know at that point that it was his daughter. And so I think it was like he did it on an accident. And then the other two, I think, were just because he's a murderer.
Okay. It would make sense the way he panics and runs around when he's going in and out of, lucidity, that she's dead, she's dead, she's dead. He may ruminate on it because it was, he didn't know that was his daughter. I don't know. But that's a really good theory. Okay. So because we are at 15 minutes left, I have a million questions with you for you guys, but I'm going to kind of do it in a thumbs up or thumbs down type of way, and make sure that I cover as much as we can. We've covered a lot of this within our questions. The one thing I do really want to talk about is, do you think, and this is an important question, so the Jody lady that approaches, so she approaches her, there's no way she would have known that she was going to be in South Bend unless she was following her, right? But do you think that it was just a kismet event, serendipity, they met, they fell in love, they had this amazing connection? Or do you think that she knows something and she was trying to get close to Chrissy to find out if Chrissy knew anything? So if you think that she had ulterior motives, you can put a thumbs up. If you think she didn't, you can put a thumbs down. Oh, okay. 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 All right. Nikki, do you want to put and Lisa, do you want to put your thumbs up or thumbs down in the chat? You're more than welcome to, or the little emojis that you can do with the react button. And then my other question is about her thumbs down. Okay. Do you think she is the auburn-haired lady? I have a gut feeling that she's doing something and she knows something. How about you, Robin? Do you think that she's the auburn-haired lady?
Say it again. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. There's a couple more. The other thing is with Pete. So, do we think that Pete just had a crush on her back in the day because she helped him with his little pea situation, and then she grew up, she left and she was just somebody that, he really likes and he wants to help her and empathizes her with Luke, like this genuine care? Or she's trying to protect Chrissy's reputation and protect Margot from someone. Jameson, that's a really good point. Oh, Nikki said thumbs down. Okay. Do you think that I'm getting lost my train of thought and I'm spinning. Pete, do we think Pete is trying to keep tabs on what Margot's finding out? And if she gets too close to the truth, he's going to have to So do we think it's genuine love, kindness? Thumbs up. If we think it's like diabolical, nasty, thumbs down. I really don't know. I don't know. Okay, we think he's nice. He's not a bad guy. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't, he's just oddly involved. Like he found the uncle wandering and like he's all up in it a lot. And for me, I've been hurt too much. When people are nice to me, I instantly think, what do you want from me? I mean, what's your angle? Okay, finally, you guys kind of chimed in on this, and I think we have a unanimous decision that we do not think that Chrissy committed suicide, but I do definitely want to ask, do we think she killed herself or do we think she was murdered? If she killed herself, we're going to put a thumbs up. If she was murdered, we're going to put a thumbs down. Okay, yeah, me too. Oh, dang. Yeah, I don't think she would start talking to her son and then start to have like this new, relation and then killers. I just don't think that somebody would do that. And then I wanted to ask, so we have 10 more minutes left, and I want to hear everyone's um, opinion on what her secret is. And we'll start with Tara. So what other secrets or secret do you think Chrissy has? Because she has brought that up like 4 times.
I think the secret of who the father was. Um, and I don't really know what else. I mean, I'm not sure what else, unless there was something to do with her, like, wanting to be or being with another woman before she was with the other one. And like maybe that's why Billy killed her. I don't know. Because now it's like all this stuff is coming into my brain, and I'm like, maybe that happened, maybe that happened. But I don't know what else her secret might be.
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you as somebody who was a lesbian when I got married to a man just to get out of my really horrible home life. I tried to force myself because he had money and he was a good person and I thought that I could have a normal life. But I couldn't and I had to leave him. So the fact that she made it as long as she did without having an affair is just, I don't know. Tiff, how about you? Do you think there's more to it, or do you think it's just Luke's the dad?
I think that's probably the big piece of it. But I also wonder, like, she said that she was a dancer and she probably was a dancer when she was young. And I wonder if whatever was going on that involved January also maybe was going on prior to that and involved her because she was like, F it. I don't want to be around anybody. I just want to get out of this place.
Yeah.
So I just wonder if she experienced some things too that maybe that also happened with her daughter.
It could explain the profound trauma she had too, and why she had to live off of Valium and yeah, and sleep meds. Stephanie, how about you? You don't look bad, by the way. You look beautiful as always.
Thanks. So I've been kicking it around. I think it has to do with who the father of the kids are and if she's bi or lesbian. That was my other thought. And Tiff came up with a really good point about maybe she knew what was going on because it happened to her beforehand, but maybe she knows who the creep is. Maybe she knew before January even got killed.
Robin, how about you? What do you think her secrets are?
Sorry, you're going to hear some baby yells in the background. So now I think that it is that Luke is the father. I 100% did not until Jameson said that about his last name being Davies and how she's talking about being with Dave and all that stuff. And yeah, I think that she knew that it wasn't Billy's, and she did go to him for an abortion because she couldn't afford it. And when he proposed, because it does talk about her reaction to his proposal, and I think that she so I think she that's her big secret. I don't know that I necessarily think that she.
Here's your earpods.
Stop. I always have a child on camera. I'm so sorry. So there's so many kids in here. I had to put my AirPods in. Okay, now I can hear y'all. Yeah. So I think that I don't necessarily think that she is a lesbian. I think she might either be bi or this is like a new, or if she is a lesbian, I don't think she knew that growing up, especially growing up there.
Mhm.
And so I think that she has just been in a loveless marriage for so long. Thank you. I'm glad that I'm at least giving you like cracking up. So yeah, I think she's just been in like a loveless marriage for so long that like a part of it is that someone is loving her. And so
Starve for attention.
yes. But I think I don't know that she necessarily has any other like bad secrets, just that the twins are not Billy's.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. It was a brilliant catch from Jameson, as usual. That blew my mind completely. Udi, how about you? Do you think she has more than one secret? Do you think, or what do you think it is?
I do think she has more than one secret.
You too.
I think it is definitely because she grew up around it. She grew up doing it. She knows what, I think that she's blocked that out from her mind and she knows. I think that she knows who the real dad is. I don't think Billy was the dad. I think she probably asked Billy for a divorce, and that could be why she ended up dead.
Yeah.
Because it's a small town, Christian town. They don't believe in divorce.
Mhm.
And I think that her and her lover did some investigating of their own after Jace came clean and said that he didn't kill. And I think that she might have found the real killer.
Oh,
And
yeah. Yeah. Nikki, how about you? Any theories other than Luke being the dad?
That's the biggest theory I have is I honestly believe he is the dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think there's so many things pointing to that at this point. Jameson, how about you?
I think the big one is that Luke is their dad, and that Luke is their dad, and that she was going to ask him for an abortion. I don't think she ever told him that. I think he found out somehow. I think she's got other things in her past because nobody wants to get out of a town that much unless there's some reason why. Like,
No, really, she's running from something.
Yeah, I think she's running from something, but I think the big one was that whatever was between her and Luke, that I think he's the dad.
Yeah, really, really good point. Lisa, how about you? Do you think there's more secrets here?
I feel like there's more just because, like you said, like was said that she wanted to get out of town so much, but also just in the flashbacks early on when, it felt like she didn't really feel like she fit in with her friend group. Like she was sort of an outsider, like they were sort of letting her hang around them, but she felt off. So I feel like there's more going on there, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
And I definitely think and the revelation about Luke, that blew my mind as well. And I definitely think that there's a connection there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Karen, how about you? Do you think there's more than one secret?
I believe there's more than one secret because when I was thinking back to when she met Billy, she actually invited him to the party at her work. He came in, and they obviously weren't a very close, and he wasn't close with any of her friends. So he was kind of like an outsider. So I think there had to be some reason why she invited him there. Because I don't really know the timeline from when she met Billy to the time she found out she was pregnant.
Yeah.
But I definitely think there's a secret somewhere
in there.
That probably is before she got pregnant.
I think so too. I think it was very short. I think it was like a summer.
Right.
Maybe like 3 months. Yeah. Erin, how about you? Do you think there's more secrets, and do you have a hunch on what they are? And do you think one of them is Luke being the father?
Yeah, I don't know if there are any more. I mean, maybe, but I feel like that's what I think is her biggest secret right now. I think Luke is the father. I think I don't know if she told him or if he found out, but I think that's the reason why he was going to January's recitals. And I think the auburn haired lady is her lover. And I think that Billy killed her. And I think that auburn hair lady, sorry, I don't know why I was so tongue tied, knew or at least suspected, and she's trying to warn her. So that's my theory for the book right now, but we'll see what's to come.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Well, before our next meeting, I'm going to watch the first and the second and write down everybody's theories with their name. And so whoever is right will get MVP automatically. So I'm really, really excited to see if any of us are. And so I hope that you guys all have an amazing week. Happy reading. Stay safe and well. And if the outside world is affecting you, please reach out. We can talk. We can figure out things to help, okay? I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.